What is going on in Houston? The other big story in the NBA on ESPN.com. NBA reporter Tim MacMahon details the unsettling vibe within the Rockets organization. Now, they may be a tag team in TV commercials, but there's drama surrounding James Harden and Chris Paul.
Houston has a problem, and it involves their two biggest stars. And the architect behind this roster is embracing it.
There's going to be times when they're extremely competitive, extremely focused on, how do we get to that next level? And when we don't, there's going to be frustration.
That's how Rockets GM Daryl Morey responded this morning on Golic and Wingo to a story published today by ESPN's Tim MacMahon, detailing issues between James Harden and Chris Paul. A source aware of the two-star dynamic told MacMahon that Chris wants to coach James, and Harden looks at Paul like, "You can't beat your man, just shut up and watch me." The story continues with Paul's frustration with that Harden has a tendency to ignore the small details, including moving around to help spacing. According to MacMahon, it got to the point where CP3 would ask head coach Mike D'Antoni to keep the beard on the bench when Paul ran the second unit on the floor, while Harden would demand to get back into the game.
We have two high-level competitors, Chris and James, who their only goal in life at this point is to win the title.
But can Morey keep them together and remain aggressive this offseason, with the Warriors likely taking a step back due to injuries and the Lakers now adding Anthony Davis this past weekend?
We're going to do moves to show people that we should be the favorite in the West. Yeah, that's going to create a little tension when we do that. At the end of the day, we're going to have at least our starting five back, and we're going to spend mid-level. We're going to spend into the tax.
But will they be willing to spend money and add years to D'Antoni's contract, a point of contention where talks have stalled this offseason?
He's going to be our coach next year. We're hoping to work things out, for the future right now. If we don't, we're going to work it out after next season. We love Mike. We're going to work it out.
Woj is back with us now. So Morey says the organization loves D'Antoni, but where are they in negotiations right now as their head coach enters the final season on his current deal?
Kevin, they've been talking, and Daryl Morey and Rockets owner went to West Virginia, spent some time with him last week, and are trying to find a pathway here to add at least a year onto his contract so he's not going in to the final year of his deal, because that will help allow the Rockets to hire a coaching staff. They've got some significant openings on that staff, and you're usually limited in the pool of candidates you can get if they feel like they're going there on a for a one-year basis with a lame duck.
All right, now tension between star teammates, it's not uncommon in this league, especially when you have strong personalities. What effect could the Harden-Paul relationship have on how the team handles the offseason, starting with CP3's future here?
Kevin, CP3's owed so much money, 3 years, over $100 million left on his deal. And given his advancing age, missing games with injury, that's a really difficult contract to move. Even if the Rockets decided to try to do that, you would end up having to take back probably another contract that you didn't love, or have to attach draft picks to it. They don't want to do that. I think Harden CP3, like every other star partnership in this league, they're going to have to figure out how to work through all this. And I do agree with Daryl. These are two guys who want to win a championship. That's what's left for them. And this Rockets team, as the Golden State Warriors will look very different next year, there's no reason for them to believe that they can't compete to win the West and get to the finals next year.
When you look at the starting five, though, and then you look at the luxury tax, how aggressive will this team be in the offseason?
Well, they've insisted that if there's a chance to improve the roster, they will go into the tax. And that's been, not every owner in the league is willing to do that, but they've got to improve this team's bench. You've seen the teams who've won in this league, Toronto, the Golden State teams that won championships, as great as their starters were, they had deeper benches. That Milwaukee team, the way Denver is built moving forward, you're not doing this with just 2 or 3 players, and Houston recognizes that, and they've got to round out this roster.
Now, despite all this, Houston still ranking top 5 when you look at the 2020 odds to win a championship. Woj, thank you.
Thanks, Kev.